Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys CB obliterates Steelers' George Pickens with harsh comments after ugly game. The Pittsburgh Steelers had the king of ugly performances on Sunday Night Football in Week 5. Going up against a Dallas Cowboys team decimated by injuries, most thought Mike Tomlin's team stood a good chance in this contest. Unfortunately, the offense couldn't have been more stagnant. The Steelers had one drive after the next stall and they entered the tunnel at halftime with just 3 points. Things didn't get much better from there. Though one aggressive drive to open the third quarter sparked hope, it was quickly washed away as Pittsburgh reverted to their own ways. Justin Fields finished the game completing 15 of 27 passes for 131 yards in the 20-17 loss on SNF. Perhaps the biggest reason for the Steelers' abysmal offensive performance was the minimal impact of George Pickens. Pittsburgh's top receiver finished the game catching just 3 passes for 26 yards on 7 targets. After the game, Cowboys cornerback Jordan Lewis threw shade at Pickens, joking about Pittsburgh's need for a wide receiver and even calling Pickens weak. This is hardly the performance anyone expected from the Steelers' top wide receiver. The Cowboys were without All-Pro cornerback Darren Bland in this one, but it didn't matter. Shutting down Pickens, and Pittsburgh's entire passing offense, was a sink. But more concerning than Pickens' performance in the loss against Dallas was his lack of usage and questionable attitude. Pittsburgh's snap distribution among their wide receivers was bizarre. Van Jefferson played 47 of 58 offensive snaps, while Calvin Austin was on the field for 44 snaps. Pickens, however, saw just 34 snaps in Week 5 against the Cowboys. This instantly had fans speculating as to whether the talented receiver was in the doghouse with the coaching staff. Mike Tomlin chalked this up to snap management. "I'm not buying it." Pickens' performance was not good. In addition to letting a few balls slip through his grasp, Pickens' body language on the field was poor and his effort seemed to be lacking. The third-year receiver put the exclamation point on a horrendous night by needlessly tugging on the face mask of cornerback Jordan Lewis after the play was over. Pickens also went viral during the game because of the message on his eye black that contained some choice words. Everything George Pickens could have done wrong in this game, he did it. If these tantrums keep coming back and if the star receiver was truly in the doghouse, the Steelers are going to have a tremendously hard time trusting him moving forward. Fans roasting Chris Collinsworth over controversial Sunday Night Football comments. The Pittsburgh Steelers welcomed the Dallas Cowboys in Week 5, hosting one of the top teams in the NFC on Sunday Night Football. Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were on the call with NBC Sports, giving play-by-play for the Steelers' 20-17 loss. During the game, Collinsworth, widely viewed as one of the best NFL analysts in the sport, made a controversial comment about Steelers linebacker T.J. Watt and Cowboys linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. Collinsworth mentioned that Overshown played a similar role to the Cowboys as Watt does to the Steelers, leading fans to believe he directly compared the second-year player to Watt, a Defensive Player of the Year. Fans took offense to Collinsworth's comments about the comparison. They shared their reactions to his controversial take online, attempting to make it known that the skill level between Watt and Overshown wasn't on the same meter. Chris Collinsworth just called Overshown the T.J. Watt of the Cowboys. "He's got one career sack," said one fan. The Cowboys drafted Overshown with the number 90 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft after playing 5 seasons with the Texas Longhorns at the college level. During his career with the Longhorns, Overshown produced 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries and 249 total tackles. He missed his rookie season in the NFL recovering from a torn ACL, but Overshown's production this season has proven that he's one of the most valuable players from the 2023 draft class. In the matchup against the Steelers, Overshown recorded 8 total tackles and 1 pass deflected. During his 2024 campaign, Overshown has produced 1 sack, 2 pass deflections, and 37 total tackles. While Overshown seems to have a promising career ahead of him, what has been arguably the best defensive player in the NFL for the last 5 years. The Steelers star won the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year in 2021 after tying league legend Michael Strahan's single-season sack record with 22.5 sacks. He also added 5 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries in the 2021 season. Watt has recorded 13 or more sacks in 5 of the last 8 seasons. He's in line to exceed that mark again in 2024, posting 4.5 sacks this season. The former Wisconsin Badger has also recorded 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery and 1 pass deflection in 2024. In the loss to the Cowboys, Watt became the second fastest player in NFL history to reach 100 career sacks, behind Reggie White. The Steelers star ended the game against the Cowboys with 1 forced fumble, 1.5 sacks and 8 total tackles. Steelers' T.J. Watt speaks out on late missed opportunity to beat Cowboys. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense was pinned inside its own 1-yard line, holding a 4-point lead during the final minute of regulation when linebacker Landon Roberts came flying over the line of scrimmage on 2nd down. Roberts stopped Dallas Cowboys running back Rico Dowdle dead in his tracks and jarred the ball loose. Suddenly, the Steelers had an opportunity to secure victory with a 4th takeaway. But Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott recovered the loose ball. Although the play resulted in a 3-yard loss, Prescott found Jalen Tolbert in the end zone for the game-winning touchdown 2 plays later. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin lamented over the inability of his defense to recover Dowdle's fumble in the final minute of the 4th quarter. Steelers edge rusher T.J. Watt, though, didn't play the what-if game as much as his head coach. These games are so close. It can be one play here or there, but obviously there's a collection of work, a whole body of work that we're going to have to go back and look at, Watt told reporters after the loss. It didn't come down to just one play tonight. T.J. Watt speaks to the media after our game against the Cowboys. The collection of work from the Steelers' defense was some good, some bad in Week 5 versus Dallas. Pittsburgh forced 3 takeaways and allowed the Cowboys to only score 1 touchdown on 4 red zone possessions. But the Cowboys also posted 445 yards and converted 9 of 15 third down attempts. Pittsburgh's defense looked more like last year's unit on October 6 than the defense the team had in its first 3 games this season. The Cowboys were moving the ball, but the Steelers were preventing Dallas from scoring. The Steelers had 2 takeaways in the red zone during the first half to keep the team within a field goal at halftime. Then in the 3rd quarter, Pittsburgh blocked a Dallas field goal attempt. Had the Steelers been able to recover Roberts' forced fumble, the team's 3rd red zone takeaway would have sealed the victory. There's a fine line between drinking wine and smashing grapes in our business. That's an example of it, head coach Mike Tomlin said. That ball is on the ground right there in the red area. And that's the difference. Depending on which perspective one prefers, both Watt and Tomlin are correct. A play or two can change the outcome of an NFL game, which completely alters the narratives that form around players and coaches. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of T.J. Watt? Leave your opinion in the comments.